I'm sitting on my couch. I'm watching Palm Springs. It's late at night. It's like 8:30 maybe. There's a mysterious shadow at my door. Ring the doorbell.
8 isn't late at night.
Well, it's 8:30.
It's early evening.
Okay, no, here's the thing. It's late for any packages to arrive.
Sure.
And then doorbell rings. I get up and I go outside and I bring in this big heavy package. And I'm like,
this is a big heavy package.
I was like, oh God, what did I order? I forgot what I ordered. What did I order? I don't get surprises. I cut it open and then I see these two mic stands.
These two mic
stands. I immediately FaceTime you.
These are like the nicest things that we have on our set.
Yeah. I immediately FaceTime you. I said, David, somebody sent me microphone stands.
Yeah.
And then
you told me that whole anecdote before, right. And then you were like, and then I opened it and I was like, yes, and then you turned the FaceTime around and we were just both like, whoa. It was awesome.
It was awesome. And then I sat for a minute and I was like,
who did this?
Who did this and how did they get my home address? Really, because
there was no return name on
No, there wasn't. Long story short, thank you, Taylor Watkins, for sending us these mic stands.
Yes, Taylor.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching our show.
This is greatly appreciated. Yeah, she's my cousin. That's how she knew where I lived.
That's awesome. Did she ask your parents or something, or she just knew where you lived? I don't think any of my cousins know my address.
Well, here's the thing. Here's how cool she is. Hang on.
She made that? She made this?
She sent that to me a couple of months ago. And I think one of her friends painted it, and she bought it from her because she thought of me.
That's so cool.
And she said, I got this for you because all you ever talked about whenever we were kids was Batman and Star Wars. So she sent me something Star Wars too, but that is the coolest.
That's on the money.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Same. That's awesome. Oh man, Taylor, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Taylor. You're the best, and we have a spot for you whenever you move to Huntsville. We'll have her on.
And you can live in Braden's house. You can live in this room.
Yeah.
And every time we record a podcast, she's just like, I have work in the morning. Welcome to Podzilla. It's a digital discourse of pop culture. I am your co-host on this journey through lights and magic, and my name is David.
And my name is Braden.
And today we're going to talk about some movies that we've watched recently. It's a pretty simple episode.
Totally.
Nothing really on the roster of what we want to get done today, besides just talking about some movies. I know for me personally, we're specifically going to talk about Palm Springs that just came out on Hulu,
right?
With Andy Samberg. So when I watched Palm Springs, I watched 4 movies in one day with my wife.
Man, quarantine is a whole other level at the Smith household.
No, kind of. It wasn't a quarantine thing. It was we went on vacation with my in-laws, and then we got back Saturday, and then Sunday we were like, this is just going to be a at-home vacation day.
Right.
So we're just going to be super lazy and just...
What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing.
So we slept in a little bit, and then we got up and watched... The first movie we watched was Chucky, the new one.
Okay, yeah.
Which was not good.
Correct.
Then we watched Palm Springs.
Cool.
Then we watched Marrowbone, which was 2 thumbs up for me.
Marrowbone?
Marrowbone. I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
And then we watched a little movie on Netflix called The Wrong Missy, which is... Did you watch it?
No, I've never heard of it.
So we watched those movies because we hadn't seen any of them yet, and we just wanted to watch new movies. So we spent that whole day literally just watching movies and hanging out.
That's awesome.
So in that order,
Chucky, not good.
No good.
Right, correct.
I wanted it to be good.
I really
wasn't.
I really wanted it to be good.
I think where the big miss with that was that it was just for those of you who haven't seen the new Chucky or maybe the old Chucky is about a doll that a serial killer, his spirit goes into the doll and possesses the doll, and then the doll
voiced by Mark Hamill.
No, in the old movie.
Oh, no, okay, yeah, I thought you
like
were talking
the old
about the new
one.
movie. Yeah,
no, not the new one. The old one, so the serial killer dies at the beginning of the movie in like a toy store, and then his spirit goes into this doll, and then it comes to life and it wants to kill everybody with a knife. Stupid, yes. Kind of corny, yes, but it works.
Sure.
I think like the toy shop was like on an Indian burial ground or something. I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
Right, yeah.
But
it's the 80s. Everything's on an Indian burial ground.
Right. And so that was the old movie. The new one, however, is these buddy dolls. It's like a complete reboot, right? The buddy dolls are like made in some sort of Asian country. I'm not sure where. And the guy who's like coding the microchips is like, his boss comes up and is like slapping him around and calling him an idiot and all this stuff. Right. And then he's like, finish that one doll and then you're out of here. You're fired. So the guy's like super depressed and he codes this doll, but he takes off all of the all of the safety features in the microchip.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
I vaguely remember it. I don't remember anything about this movie.
So that's how the doll becomes bad. It's not like a serial killer. It's just
not anything
it's just
spiritual.
a robot. It's just a robot
it's an angry boy robot.
It's just a robot who wants the main kid to be its best friend, and any other creature who looks like it might be his best friend, it kills.
I have never forgotten a movie so fast in my life because I barely remember anything. It's like a whole fog over my mind, and you're like you have a lighter and you're just trying to go through it.
Yeah,
that's how this movie is.
Also, the dolls just doesn't look good.
It doesn't. I do remember that.
Just doesn't
I remember
look
that
good
at least.
or scary
it looks
or anything.
Really weird.
Anyway, that movie, I give that like a solid
3, 4.
Oof.
A solid oof. Let's bring back oof ratings.
That's a solid oof.
That's a solid oof.
So then we watched Palm Springs.
I love Palm Springs.
So those of you who don't know about Palm Springs,
I would say let's not say anything about the plot of Palm Springs because I didn't know anything about Palm Springs.
I didn't either.
And there was a beautiful
surprise.
I think that the whole story is a surprise. And I think you should just go and watch it yourself. I
was just going to read like the IMDb synopsis.
Okay, yeah, do that because I've read that.
So Palm Springs came out this year. It's on Hulu. It's streaming. Here's a synopsis. When carefree Niles and reluctant maid of honor Sarah have a chance encounter at a Palm Springs wedding, things get complicated as they are unable to escape the venue themselves or each other. We'll leave it that vague. Yeah. I thought this movie was so refreshing.
Me too. No oofs here.
It was it's just a fun movie.
It's so much fun. That's the movie I was watching whenever these got delivered. I was home alone. I was just like, I don't know, for some reason. So my wife is a nurse, and sometimes she works until midnight. So most nights I'm cool. Like I know how to entertain myself.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I was so incredibly bored. So bored. I posed all my action figures differently. I took them all off the shelf. I dusted them, and then I edited an episode of PODZILLA for a minute, and then I got bored again. And so then I was like, let's go on Netflix. Nothing on Netflix. Let's go on HBO. Nothing on HBO. Let's go on Hulu. And I see Andy Samberg. I'm a big Andy Samberg fan, so
sure.
I click on it. Never seen a trailer. Yeah. I was just like, let's just jump into it.
Also, Kristen Milotti, who plays Sarah, who's the main female protagonist of the movie. I love her.
She's great.
She's those of you who don't know, if she's spoiler alert, she's the mother
on How I Met Your Mother. Yeah.
And I loved her as the mother. Also, sidebar,
Wolf of Wall Street? Wasn't she in Wolf? She was his first wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's great in that as well.
Sidebar, I liked How I Met Your Mother, hated the last season. She was the
Yeah.
only good part about the last season.
And then she didn't get what she deserved. That's all I'm going to say
And then
about
she
that.
died.
And then she died. Okay, listen, Ted Mosby.
Hey, wait. You don't have to feel bad about spoiling the end of How I Met Your Mother. It's been over. Like
It's like 6 years.
Anybody who'd have a problem with us spoiling the end of a show that's been off the air for 6 years needs to get a life.
That's
You've
true.
had 6 years to watch this show multiple times.
How I Met Your Mother is just Ted Mosby trying to convince his kids that it's okay for him to date Aunt Robin.
But it's not sold that way until last 3 episodes.
Oh my God.
Not even.
I remember watching that. I think I was a junior or senior in high school. I was just like, what is this?
Here's the problem. Is that you can't make everybody want Ted to be with Robin when you bring in Kristen Milotti and everybody likes her more than Robin.
She's a gem.
She's a gem. She's adorable.
Robin,
she's sweet. She's the best wife and the best mother. Like, oh, it's perfect. She's perfect. And then, boom, she's dead. Died.
Oh, you were happy?
Oh, you liked the actress? You were really happy with the way that the season was ending up? Well, too bad. It was all just a big ploy for Robin, who the whole last season is marrying a different character, literally the whole season.
Hey, plot twist, this whole season that you've been spending at a wedding, hey,
the wedding was a sham. They got divorced in 3 years.
In like the 12th episode, they get divorced in the 13th episode, then she dies. And then...
Yeah, it's garbage. It's hot garbage.
Gosh.
I mean, all the seasons leading up to that, I did like how
I enjoyed it, yeah.
But the last season, oof. Big oof. Anyway, let's get off the sidebar. Back to Palm Springs.
It's real good. She's wonderful.
She is wonderful in it. Oh, man, what a great actress. Andy Samberg plays Andy Samberg. You know, like...
He's still not old to me, though.
No, it's just, you know, you have actors that are character actors, and then you have actors that are in movies to be themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what people want. Andy Samberg is a great example. Michael Cera is a great example. You know, Adam Sandler could be classified under that. Like, now, arguably, Adam Sandler has done characters in movies, obviously, but at the end of the day, they're all...
It's that same comedy.
It's the same guy, you know?
Yeah.
Whether he's doing like Little Nicky or, you know, The Wedding Singer, it's still Adam Sandler just doing a weird voice.
Right.
But anyway, Andy Samberg delivers a great Andy Samberg performance.
Yeah.
It's the movie is a good romantic comedy that has a lot of heart and is refreshing and not your typical not your typical. It's got a cool element to it that we won't spoil yet because this movie just came out.
Yeah. I will say this: if you are stuck at home quarantined, you need to watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's what you need right now.
Like if you're bored and you haven't watched Palm Springs, watch Palm Springs.
It's like legitimately, it's what you need right now.
Yeah.
If you're sad or bored or depressed, it's funny, it's light, it's got that happy ending, it's got plot twists and off the wall comedy and off the wall plot twists in a way. Yeah. Off the wall moments.
It's got twists and turns. It's a roller coaster.
It is, but it's always light and fun and
it's got a big heart.
Great. Yeah.
And it's got J.K. Simmons in it, which is cool.
And he's great.
And he's great in it.
What is he not great in, but still he's great.
What do you rate this movie?
No oofs for one. And then I'm going to say it's like a 7 or an 8. It's just like a fun, light. It's not going to change the way you view movies, or it's not your favorite movie, but it is going to be. I don't know. I have nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, I'd say this movie is a solid 7.
Yeah,
totally. And I would recommend it to my mom. There's a couple scenes I wouldn't want to watch with my mom.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, but like it's mom approved.
Mom approved.
You know what I'm saying? Or I guess not. It's son approved.
Son approved for moms.
For moms, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Adult son, moved out, married, approved for you, mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom, you can watch that one.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy it, Mom.
Because I know
when you watch it.
What my mom says this to me all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Because she listens to the podcast every week.
Yeah.
And she says to me, you were talking about this movie and it sounded really good and I really wanted to watch it. And then you said I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, it's happened to me. I've had that.
And
exact same conversation.
Hey, Mom, we're gushing over this movie. You can watch it. It's cool.
Yeah, enjoy it. I hope you like it.
I think my mom might have watched it. Watch it again.
My mom hasn't seen it, but I think she would like it. So
yeah.
Best of luck on your journey. Please don't judge me if you don't like it.
So let's talk about this other movie that I watched in my binge with my wife over the course of one day. Marrowbone came out in 2017.
Can I guess what the movie's about off the title?
Sure.
Is there any chance I could get it?
Just try.
Okay. I'm going to say this is an attempt at a horror movie or a suspense movie, and it's about a bunch of teenagers, and one of the friends has no marrow in her bones, or has a severe lack of marrow in her bones.
Yeah. And how does that get scary?
Well, she goes to the hospital for a
bone marrow transplant.
Yeah, infusion or transplant, whatever they do. I know it's a big needle and they have to push it with their, at least they do in the movie. Yeah. They're like sticking it in there.
Yeah.
She does that, but she gets injected with the marrow of an inmate from death row.
Oh, yeah. She gets injected with the marrow of a ghost. And it haunts her blood.
And so then, as soon as that happens, we flash into her body, and it's her white blood cells and red blood cells.
Kind of like whenever you would go into Jimmy Neutron's ear and then into his like brain blast.
But then when we come out of the brain blast, she's killing someone.
The blood blast.
She's
killing someone. That's pretty cool.
It's called marrow.
Yeah, like she sees someone, you know, that she like the serial killer in her like all of a sudden wants to kill, and she sees them, and it's like this really intense thing, and then it goes into her bloodstream and it shows all this stuff, and then when it comes out, she's like done stabbing them, like she blacked out.
But all of her blood cells, white blood cells, are Nicolas Cage. Do you have red blood cells? It's white and red, correct?
Yes.
Red blood cells are John Travolta, so it's like a face-off reunion inside. Yes.
Oh, so like each blood cell just has the face of
Nicolas Cage,
just kind of like the Keanu Reeves and the tumbleweed and the SpongeBob.
in the SpongeBob movie. But it's like a bunch of. I would honestly like to think that it's the upper half of both of them, where Nicolas Cage is like, "Get out of here, red blood cells," and then John Travolta's like, "Follow my son on TikTok."
Oh man, I'm praying for you, John Travolta.
Yeah, hope you're okay.
And I hope you get the role in this movie too.
Anyways, what is it actually about?
So, I mean, there were parts of it that you weren't wrong about.
Okay.
I mean, you were wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I was. Like, I do think
99% wrong.
I genuinely think this is a wannabe horror movie with a bunch of teenagers.
It is not a wannabe horror movie.
Okay.
It is it's classified under horror, but it's more of like a thriller mystery. Not even mystery. It's like a thriller, like a suspense thriller. That has teenagers in it. But I'll read you the synopsis and then I'll kind of explain a little bit. A young man and his 3 younger siblings who have kept secret the death of their beloved mother in order to remain together are plagued by a sinister presence in the sprawling manor in which they live.
Okay.
So, Marrowbone. So, let me tell you this too, because this is what sold me on it. Like just looking at the poster, stars George McKay, who is the main actor in 1917.
Right.
Anya Taylor-Joy, who you know from Split, and I mean she's in everything right now from Emma, Split, whatever. Charlie Heaton.
Oh yeah, Stranger Things, and then Mia Goth, who was also she's been in some stuff. You'd know her if you saw her. She's just kind of like another one of those, like that group that we talked about of those up and coming actors and actresses. I mean, George McKay, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Heaton, and Mia Goth are in that group, right?
Like with the Timothy Chalamet,
she was
Saoirse
in the
Ronan, Florence
Suspiria
Pugh
remake. Remember when we talked about Suspiria a couple weeks back?
So she's kind of one of those actresses, like British actress, up and coming. Very interesting look. Doesn't have eyebrows.
Marrowbone is one word. It came out 3 years ago.
So don't read anything about it.
Okay. Sorry.
Because I'm telling you about it.
Okay.
So that captivated me off the bat, right? Because those are all great up and coming actors, and I was like, this looks interesting. We just played it without any sort of knowledge of what it was about.
Yeah.
So it's about Mia Goth, Charlie Heaton, and George McKay are siblings. George McKay is the oldest, then Charlie Heaton, and then Mia Goth, and then they have a little brother. They moved to America with their mother and to the estate that their mother was like raised in. And her maiden name was Marrowbone. So they moved there because their father in England they called him a monster. And he's in the papers like having killed people and stuff like that. So they're trying to get away from their father. So they move to the States, move into this house, and they change their name to Marrowbone. And the name of the house is Marrowbone, like above the gate as you go to the house. So Marrowbone's the name of the house. So they moved to this estate to escape their monster father, who's done bad things. I won't go into detail. And basically their mother gets sick, passes away. They try to cover up the fact that their mother died so that they don't get split up because the oldest brother's not 18 yet. So technically, if word were to get out that their mother had died, they would all get split up and put into a foster care system type thing. So it's about them trying to hide the fact that their mother passed, as well as there is a mysterious, what the youngest brother calls ghost in their home. Marrowbone. No, this movie was awesome. This movie was great. I liked it a lot.
Cool. Yeah.
I liked it a lot, and I don't want to say too much about it because it's got a great ending.
Okay.
It's got a good... I thought it had a good, fun...
What do you give it?
What did I give it? Let's see. I think I gave it a 7. 7's good.
7's like good.
Same
thing as Palm Springs.
Like not the best rom-com funny movie, but a good movie. 7's a solid good movie.
What's the best rom-com?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I really like Crazy Stupid Love.
That was the first movie that came to mind. Crazy Stupid Love.
It's good.
I hadn't seen
underrated.
that movie. I hadn't seen that movie before like a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, I just never seen it.
Remember throwback to like 25 weeks ago when we talked about me wearing suits all the time?
Yes. Was it because of
Ryan Gosling got a bunch of girlfriends.
How many did you get with all your cool suits in middle school?
It was high school.
Oh, okay. That's worse.
It was sophomore year of high school, and I got one. Thank you very much.
Wow, look at you.
And she hasn't talked to me in years.
That's one more girlfriend than I had in high school.
Oh, there you go. We should have wore suits.
I know. It's not too late. Marrowbone is another solid 7.
Cool.
Like I can't stress enough that 7 and
where can you watch it?
Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
I believe it's on Hulu.
Throw it in my list.
Yeah. You should watch it. You should watch it tonight. You should watch it right. You know what? Podcast's over. Braden's going to go watch Marrowbone, and then we're going to pick back up.
All right.
Marrowbone's great. Solid 7. Good watch. Great acting. George McKay, dude, that guy is a star.
Really?
He's a star.
Hang on. Let me see what George...
He carried 1917 on his back.
That's true. Why isn't he bigger by now?
He's
because the first thing I saw him in was Captain Fantastic. Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
You have seen it
with Viggo Mortensen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, that movie, like,
unexpected.
I was living with your brother at the time in our apartment, and I was watching it. That might have been the last movie I cried in. I don't know why it got me so good. I'm not saying you're going to watch this movie and you're going to cry. But it was just the
for
stars
some
aligned, reason.
Yeah,
all the performances and the story and
the stars
for
aligned.
some reason it got
in your
me.
heart.
I'm not saying I didn't weep.
What was the last movie you wept watching?
There's a movie and it's on the tip of my tongue because I remember it. What's your movie?
I don't think I've ever wept in a movie. Like wept, like steady stream, like 6 tears at least. Steady stream.
I will say this.
Weeping.
I will say this. I took my mom to see Southpaw. Do you know what Southpaw is?
Yeah.
The boxing movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yep.
I didn't weep, but she wept, which was making me really sad. That was the hardest I'd ever seen my mother cry. It was in Southpaw.
You have a bad you have a personality that if your emotions are right on your sleeve constantly.
I mean, yeah,
like if you can't flip the switch though. Like once you feel deep emotion,
once I feel
you're
something,
stuck in it.
It's that.
Yeah.
I can't put on a face. I can't put on a brave face.
I know. I've learned that. Like
once I'm tired and I'm like annoyed by someone,
you're there.
Then I'm like,
if you're sad,
I can't
you're
fake
just
it.
sad.
Sometimes, I went out to California to hang out with Michael for his wedding, right? From the Rex and Around show, and I was hanging out with him, and Sydney and I were both staying in his apartment,
right?
Until he got married. Then we got a hotel. And we were going to the rehearsal dinner, and for some reason, I don't remember if I was just super tired, if I didn't feel good, but he styled his hair a different way, and he like parted it right down the middle. And like, have you ever seen Michael with his hair parted right down the middle?
No.
No. And so I walk out into the living room, and he's just sitting there. He's like, "You ready to go?" And I was like,
"What did you do?"
I was like, "Are you gonna fix your hair?" And he was like, "I've already fixed my hair. Do you not like it?"
Why does it matter what his hair looks like for you to go somewhere?
But I was like so tired, and if it's your rehearsal dinner, so I flew out there to be with Michael, support Michael while he's getting married.
Yeah,
and I fly all the way out there,
and he's gonna do his hair like that.
He styled his hair differently, and it didn't look bad at all. It was just different.
He's handsome.
He's handsome as butts, dude.
I know.
And so I walk out there, I see him, but it's different. And I was too tired I don't remember, but I was not in the right mindset to convince him otherwise that I thought it looked good. And I walk out and he's like, "Do you not think my hair looks good?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Thanks, Braden." And I'll never forget it because I feel like I really let him down. I flew all the way out there to be for him.
But you said it did look good.
But I said like, yeah.
Like he wanted you to be like, "Yeah, dude, that looks great."
He wanted me to be like
handsome.
He wanted to be like, "Man, I'm not homosexual, but I might be now."
Yeah.
Like that's what you should do for your boy when he's getting married.
Yeah, I'm not like I don't swing that way, but I'd kiss you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I'd sleep like a baby afterwards.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I said, "Yeah."
You did let him down.
I let him down, man. Yep. So that's an example.
I wonder if Michael. I'd like to know how that affected him that night.
I would love to know.
Oh man.
Anyways,
that's funny.
I wear it on my sleeves. I don't remember where we went from there.
You wear your emotions on your sleeves. What was the last movie you wept watching? I can't think of the last. I need to ask like my wife. Maybe she'd know. I can't even think of the last movie I cried watching.
A Knight's Tale. I rewatched A Knight's Tale a couple weeks ago. And whenever he's like
this,
did he follow his feet? Like when his blind dad is,
I know.
He's like, did he follow his feet? And well, I cried in that. I didn't weep. I'm trying to think of a movie that I lost it in.
Unfortunately.
Okay, well, what movie has made you cry before?
Oh, Toy Story 3. In the theaters, and I was so glad I had those 3D glasses on because I mean, come on.
Yeah, nobody's going to be like, "You cried in Toy Story 3."
I grew up on Toy Story.
Everybody cried in.
And the scene, I cried twice.
Yeah.
When they're about to get incinerated.
In the trash, and when Andy says goodbye.
Yep. So, yeah. I didn't know that you could fog up 3D glasses. You can.
You sure can. I'm upset about one thing, though. I got these new glasses about 2 months ago. No, 2 or 3 months ago. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I bought clip-ons for them for sunglasses. Mm-hmm. Only $4 more, dude. That's a deal.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got them. They're actually on the table right there. And then I also bought special 3D clip-ons. So that way, any 3D movie I go to,
you don't have to wear your glasses.
I don't have to wear my glasses over my glasses.
Too bad we're never going to the movie theater again.
Then everything shut down. And I'm like, gosh, dang it, America, you owe me $278 for those clip-ons.
What a waste!
What a waste, man.
It's been like 6 months. What was the last movie you saw in theaters?
Onward.
Okay.
That was it. What about you?
Birds of Prey, I think.
Not bad. Not a bad movie to go out on.
No, I loved Birds of Prey. I thought it was fun. I thought it was better than Suicide Squad.
Yeah, me too. Those action scenes, man. I think Birds of Prey needlessly flopped because it flopped pretty hard, and I don't think it deserved it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a great movie.
Did it flop?
It flopped. It lost a lot of money.
That's a bummer.
It is. I don't think it's great. It's not spectacular, but it's fun.
Yeah.
If you're in quarantine, watch it.
That's a fun one to watch.
Totally.
Oh, yeah. And it makes you want to eat an egg sandwich.
That's the most gorgeous egg sandwich ever. If there was a food that you could film, what would it be?
A food that I could film.
Food that you could film, like you're making a movie. What food are you filming that's going to make the audience like drool?
I mean, it's got to be something like that, like
it's got to be something buttery,
English
right?
muffin with butter on it, bacon, like a poached egg, something like that. Like it's almost got to be a breakfast that kind of salivates you. I'm
gonna argue and say that there's not anything that gets me more into a food than a burger.
A good burger. I mean,
the Big Kahuna burger from Pulp Fiction. That's a fast food burger, and it looked like a fast food burger, but every time Samuel L. Jackson just takes a big old bite out of it, I'm like, that is a tasty burger. Yeah, that was my Samuel L. Jackson.
Do you mind if I have a sip of your delicious Sprite? Yeah, the Big Kahuna burger.
And like, the same thing with like Krabby Patties. Krabby Patties look great.
Yeah, that's cartoon food that I could jam on.
Also, the only food that gets me 100% of the time, an apple.
In a movie?
In a movie. If I see somebody take a bite out of an apple and I hear that
crunch,
I'm like, gosh dang it, give me an apple right now.
I think 9 times out of 10 in movies, the person eating the apple is always the bad guy.
It's the forbidden fruit.
Some sort of bad person.
Yeah. It is because it's just the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's exactly. Like the Twilight book cover is 2 dead hands holding an apple.
Yeah.
I don't know why I vividly remember that, but it's because it's the forbidden fruit. You're not supposed to eat.
What's the first apple you think of when you think of a character eating an apple?
I don't want to say.
Oh, what?
I think of Damon from the Vampire Diaries.
Oh, Braden.
I know it's not a good answer at all. Like I say
Barbosa. That's the first one that comes to mind.
That's a good one.
That green apple that he just wants to taste it again.
Believing in ghost stories.
You're in one.
Yeah,
that's the apple.
That's a good one. That's much better than mine for some reason, because I think that was the first time I realized why bad guys ate apples.
I've never seen Vampire Diaries, and I probably never will.
I mean, you don't have to.
I don't think I want to.
I only saw the first 2 seasons, and the first season was good, but who cares? Anyways, did you watch your 4th movie?
I did watch a fourth movie. We just hadn't gotten there yet.
Okay.
And then, so you never even said the last movie you wept in. I think you're evading.
Well, I don't remember the last movie I wept
What's the first movie you can think of that you wept in the last couple years? Like as an adult man. I'm not even going to talk anymore because I'm going to wait for you to find your answer.
Okay, let me look. I cried. I don't know if I wept, but I got a solid 3 tears out of A Star Is Born. Have you seen it yet?
No.
Okay. It's
I think
sad.
I saw too many memes, and it kind of was like, that movie...
Hey, I will say, Bradley Cooper did a fantastic job.
I know he did.
Directing, he did a fantastic job.
I mean...
Singing, he did a fine job.
Acting?
Acting, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Hey, Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga?
Fantastic actress in that movie.
I like it. I like a solid Lady Gaga.
It is worth a watch. It's very good.
Have you seen like the old ones, like with the one with Judy Garland?
Not before I saw this one, and that probably would have given me a warning. I got a solid 2 tears out of it. Sydney, on the other hand, she didn't cry in the movies. In the movie,
but then she got home later.
No. We got in the car, and she goes, "I just need to." And then she just like released.
Whoa.
I mean,
floodgates. TV Land used to do weekends where they would do the Twilight Zone just all day and
marathon.
night.
Twilight Zone marathon, yeah.
And I would every year I would watch Twilight Zone like all day and night. I loved it.
That'll get you.
And there's a specific episode where I forget what it's called. It's like one of the most classic Twilight Zone episodes where a woman is getting plastic surgery because she's ugly and she wants to be beautiful like everyone else, and she's covered in bandages for 2/3 of the storyline.
Yeah.
And then you never see anyone's faces, and then once they take the bandages off, they tell her, "We're sorry, we couldn't fix your face. You're going to be ugly forever." And they take off the bandages, and she's beautiful. And then have you seen this?
Oh no, but I get it.
And then she looks at the doctors, and the doctors and the nurses and everyone are just hideously disfigured, and she's the only beautiful one. And they're like, their faces look like they're melted, and they've got like these pig nose, and their lips are like all they're just like look like these scary figures, right? And they're like, "We're sorry, we couldn't make you beautiful. You're going to be horribly disfigured and ugly forever." And then she out of fear, I forget exactly what happens, or they say like, "There's a place that you can go that we can take you." And I think they try to sedate her or something, and she runs away, and she's like running through the halls, and all these guys with these faces are chasing her and stuff. And then it ends where finally she gets caught by this guy who's also very handsome, and he's like, "You can come with us. There's a safe place where we can go, like all of us ugly people." It's a great story, and obviously there's a lot of depth to what it's about.
Yeah. The meaning.
Yeah, but those pig face people messed me up. You. Oh yeah, I couldn't use the bathroom without checking the shower curtains under the sink.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like that.
Have you ever like flipped the light off and then ran and jumped in your bed?
No, I did that. Yeah, I did that constantly.
Nice.
I would use the bathroom with the door open because I was scared if I closed the door, something would happen.
So the only movie that, I have for sure been kept up at night whenever I was younger. One mild case was I watched Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. And whenever that lightning was striking the same place like 20 times, that freaked me the heck out. And then seeing that thing like rise up didn't keep me up all night, maybe for an hour. And then I was like, it's all good.
Yeah.
The only movie that has kept me up from sundown to sunup was King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong.
That's
and
great.
It was
it with the chocolate?
Yes, the little kid.
That like bites him?
That bites Precious Jack Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had like leather skin because they were like sun-baked for so long and everything like that. And they had like bones through their noses. And look, I know that there are real people in the world that is their culture.
So for those of you who haven't seen King Kong, the scene, they go to the is it called Skull Island?
Yeah.
They go to Skull Island. They're they're filming a movie basically, and they're kind of location scouting. They come across this tribe of what would you call them? Indigenous people.
Yeah.
And Jack Black is in the film. He's like the cinematographer, right?
He's the director.
The director.
Yeah.
And is Adrian Brody the cinematographer? Did I get him backwards?
Adrian Brody wrote the script.
Okay.
I love King Kong, by the way. If you haven't seen King Kong
good.
And you've got 3 hours to spare,
it could have been 2 hours and way better of a movie.
Yeah. It's very good.
It is
worth
good
watch.
though.
If
It is
you haven't
good.
seen it, watch it.
I agree. Anyway, so Jack Black tries to offer this little boy a chocolate bar.
Yeah, but
little boy,
to set the scene, they thought this island was abandoned. They're in like this stone-looking village.
Yeah. And they just see the little boy,
abandoned. Right? And then Jack Black turns around and he's like, "Oh my God." And then Peter Jackson in all of his glory has a shot where this kid is like far away looking down and like he's looking under his brows and there's like haze coming in, the music starts in, and then he's impossibly dark, like impossibly dark, and his skin's like leather, and he's just like staring at Jack Black, and Jack Black's like, "Hey man, you want a chocolate bar?" And then he like goes up to him, and then he's like offering this kid a chocolate bar, and then out of nowhere the kid just grabs his arm and like starts biting him. And then as he's biting him, everybody comes out. And they've got
the whole tribe.
They've got like gauges in their noses and bones through their eyebrows and noses and ears. And I know it's a culture. I'm just saying it freaks me the heck out because they
Right.
will literally kill
and
you.
I'm not sure. I mean, this is obviously a very fictionalized culture that they created for the movie. That's
Yeah.
kind of a hyper, like hyper.
I will say there is a tribe that exists in real life that will literally kill you if you come on their island.
That's fair.
I mean, that is fair. They don't have the coronavirus.
I ain't
bet.
going.
I wonder what they're up to. You think they're having a better 2020 than we are?
Probably. You kill anybody that comes on their island, there's no way they got
But
coronavirus.
There's that scene with the chocolate bar that's terrifying, but then they finally escape after losing a couple of people. Like one guy gets stabbed through the chest with a big old spear, and then they finally escape.
Yeah.
The scene that gets me is they're all safe. They're all on the boat, and they've made it out. And then you see them have like big old vaulting poles, and they start jumping from rock to ship, and then they start killing everybody, because they're trying to get the Naomi Watts, his character. That's what got me. So I'm in my bed trying to sleep, and all I can think of every time I close my eyes is those little guys jumping from car to car with a vaulting pole coming to get me. That's all I can think about.
So you're Naomi Watts in this
I'm
situation.
Naomi Watts. I was wearing a white dress and a blonde wig. That's all I was, man.
That's great. That's wild. Scary times. Scary times.
Yeah.
And then the fourth movie that we watched on this day. It's a movie called The Wrong Missy. Do you know anything about this movie?
I know nothing.
Do you want to guess what this movie's about?
Jennifer Aniston.
Okay. It's about Jennifer Aniston?
It's about Jennifer Aniston. She's little Missy. She's never been
Little
married.
Missy.
She's never been married. She was close to being married, and then she found out that her fiance was cheating on her with her best friend, and she never loved again. But she started her own clothing line called Little Missy. And she winds up finding a little orphan on the streets.
I don't know where you got Little Missy from.
What's it called?
The Wrong Missy.
The Wrong Missy?
Yes.
Well, her clothing line is called Little Missy. And
I like the title Little Missy better.
And she finds this random orphan girl on the street,
Abigail Breslin,
with
'Cause
little
she's
girl
Little Miss
makeup.
Sunshine.
Yeah. And then she goes up to her and she's like, "What's your name?" And she goes, I'm Missy. People
I'm Missy too. Yeah.
and she's like, "I'm Missy." And she said, "Well, do you have anywhere to stay?" And then for some reason I don't want it to be Jennifer. I want it to be Reese Witherspoon.
okay.
And
yeah.
so it's a Reese Witherspoon movie now.
Interchangeable.
Right.
To a degree.
Yeah. Kind of the same thing. Reese Witherspoon movies have the potential to be good. So I'm going to say it's Reese Witherspoon.
Okay.
And then she goes up to little Abigail Breslin, "Missy, do you have anywhere to stay?"
Little Missy.
I'm Missy. And she's like, "Well, my name is Missy
I'm
too.
going to call you Little Missy.
I'm just going to call you Little Missy." And so then she takes Little Missy in, and she it's a real game plan type situation. She really falls for her. They have a falling out because
It's like Uptown Girls.
because she goes to a ribbon cutting ceremony of her newest location of her Little Missy store. And she sees her ex-fiance with the woman that she cheated on. He cheated on her with. She gets real drunk and she takes home the wrong little girl. The wrong
So she
Missy.
kidnaps someone.
She kidnaps someone. She gets put in jail, death row. Her last meal is 2 scoops of mint chocolate chip ice cream
with one spoon.
with 1 spoon. And then she's put in the electric chair. She looks up and she sees Missy in there. 1 single tear rolls down her cheek. Bzz, fade to black.
That got dark quick.
It's the wrong Missy.
That's not what this movie's about.
I think it's a rom-com.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You're right. It's a rom-com. Produced by... This is going to tell you... I bet you could guess who the lead actor is if I just tell you that Happy Madison produced this movie. Go through the laundry list of actors that are Happy Madison actors. And I'll tell you if they're in the movie.
Well, I'm going to strike this off. I didn't get it right off the bat, right? It's not Jennifer Aniston.
No.
Okay. All I can think of is
there are every Happy Madison movie has the same guys in it.
Same guys, but not the same girls.
No, tell me guys, because there's it's a rom-com, so there is
it's David Spade. It's
that's one of
Kevin James. It's Adam Sandler, Chris Rock.
I mean, and then you've got like Rob Schneider. Nick Swartzen's kind of become a Happy Madison staple.
Yeah.
So which one of those actors do you want to be
want to be in this movie that I
Who's the lead? Who's the lead?
Rob Schneider. Or
I will tell you this.
Or David Spade.
Rob Schneider basically plays the same character he played in 50 First Dates in this movie. Remember the shark, the guy that keeps getting bit by sharks or whatever?
I forget that there's good Happy Madison movies.
You're right, though. It is David Spade.
I think it's David Spade, yeah.
It's David Spade. So this movie, I'll read you the synopsis because it's easier than me really trying to explain it. Tim thinks he's invited the woman of his dreams on a work retreat to Hawaii. Realizing too late, he mistakenly texted someone from a nightmare blind date.
Okay.
So the movie opens up with David Blade.
Hey!
David Blade is playing...
Could you imagine David Spade playing Blade?
David Blade.
Oh, yeah.
I'd pay to see that movie.
Oh, yeah. I'm onto something good there.
So he plays this kind of straight-laced guy who's... He's got an awful haircut for some reason in this movie. He goes on a blind date. The open of the movie, he's on this blind date with Lauren Lapkus, who you know her if you saw her. She did the earliest show with Ben Schwartz. She I mean, what else has she been in?
Oh, yeah. She's like the real sweet looking girl. From everything. She's in Jurassic World.
Yeah.
But what is she like in?
She's not, besides The Wrong Missy. Don't pull up The Wrong Missy.
I'm not.
She's just in movies, you know? I think this is the first movie I ever saw that she was like one
of the main gals.
A leading gal in. And man, she lays it on thick.
What does that mean?
So in order for them to make her just the most annoying person in the world, so he goes on a blind date with her that his grandma sets up, and she's just the worst. And then he tries to sneak out of the bathroom window and gets away from her basically because she's just so annoying and she's just the worst. And her name is Melissa. So then, but she goes by Missy. So then, like a couple months later, he's in the airport and he meets like this supermodel, and they bump into each other, and their bags get crossed, and so they don't have their
Happy Madison.
So they don't have their tickets to their plane. So then they find each other. They both miss their flight, so they end up sitting in the airport bar, and they're just talking to each other. They have everything in common. You know, they're even reading the same book. Yeah. The whole thing, right? Yeah. They end up.
Have you ever been reading the same book as someone?
No. Me
either.
Not since I was in school and it was mandated reading.
What?
You know?
Have you been reading the same book as somebody, though?
What do you mean?
I've never been like...
No.
Oh, you're reading Peter and the Starcatchers? Me too.
Yeah, right, yeah, totally. Oh, you're reading the entire first volume of Calvin and Hobbes? Me too.
Oh, you're reading a series of unfortunate events... A bad beginning?
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah. I have never... The reptile room? What are the odds of that?
You're like, I'm on the secret window.
Yeah. You're right.
So please stop.
Okay.
This is awkward.
Don't spoil it for me. So anyway, so they're reading the same book. They hit it off. Dumb. They end up making out in a closet for a minute, and then her flight...
David Spade and the supermodel?
Yeah. Like, they really want you to know.
Who's the supermodel?
I'll tell you right now. Molly Sims. She's like an actual, like, Miss America, like a pageant actress.
Molly Sims. Is this her, like, first role?
No, she's been in stuff.
Okay. So.
It doesn't really matter. She's not.
I don't know her face, but, like.
She's just a beautiful person.
Yeah, she's professionally beautiful.
Right, totally. So. Anyway, they're kissing in the closet, and then her flight announcement comes up, and she has to go. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Well, can you give me your number?"
Sure.
So she
David
gives her
Blade.
a number. David Blade.
That's
she leaves.
Great name. I'm going to start calling you Blade. Is that cool with you?
David Blade.
Blade.
David Blade.
What's up, Blade?
I don't know if it'll stick, but you can try.
I'm going to start. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Podzilla. It's a digital discourse in pop culture. With me, as always, is my co-host. It's my co-host, David Blade.
And Braden Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh,
Gross. Anyway, so he starts texting her, but he texts the wrong Missy. He invites her to a corporate retreat in Hawaii, thinking that it's her.
Okay.
So he's on the plane. He's waiting for her to come. He's got flowers for her, and then Lauren Lapkus gets on the plane, and it's like, oh, great, you know. So then he's stuck with the wrong Missy.
What was?
She's so freaking annoying.
What was the supermodel's name in the movie?
Melissa.
Both Melissas.
Melissa, okay. And then they're both Melissa, but Missy goes by Missy. Melissa, I guess they both go by Missy.
Okay.
The fact that he texted the wrong Missy when he knew that he had the other Missy in his phone, who was just a complete nightmare, is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Also, if
he's like 50 years old and he's texting someone, be a man and just call them on the phone.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Yeah, you don't text.
You don't text.
It would have been more believable if he sent her a Hotmail.
Yeah, what's your email? What's your carrier pigeon? Where can I send your carrier pigeon?
I can't think of like...
They just become pen pals. Either way, it doesn't matter. The wrong Missy ends up on the plane. Here's the problem with this movie is Lauren Lapkus, who is a great actress and very, very funny, is just so unbelievably annoying for so much of this movie that inevitably he ends up falling in love with her instead, right?
Right.
And it's unbelievable because there's no redeeming qualities about this actress for so long that once she has this little glimmer of like humanity, it's already too late.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing up at the beginning of the movie that's like, oh, well, she's just sweet and quirky. You know, she's not like a Zooey Deschanel, like I'm just quirky and, you know, like
is
weird.
David Spade, is he like a
David
douche?
Blade.
No, you're David Blade.
Oh. What? Cool.
I want to call you David Blade.
Okay. That's fine.
Is David Spade in the movie like a douchebag? Or is he just like an earnest man?
Yes, he's that's the thing. Kind of both.
Okay.
This movie doesn't know what it wants. Okay. And also there's no chemistry between David Spade and Lauren Lapkus that would ever make you think that they would ever become romantically partners. Plus David Spade's like 5'2" and Lauren Lapkus has like a solid foot on him. She's like 6 foot at least, I think.
That's the thing. Like if this movie I'm
looking at how tall she is because I'm really curious.
I would say that this movie is like a classic just go with it scenario. But either way, Adam Sandler ends up with a model.
She's 5'10".
But still, that's 8 inches.
Yeah, well, let's see how tall Dave Spade is.
I think he's like 5'4", 5'5".
Either way, she's obviously taller than him.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even try to hide it.
So I think if this movie, if he was like a womanizer and he starts out as a womanizer and like he sees the supermodel and he's shallow, like a shallow Hal type situation. But he would have to have a path of redemption, and also she would have to have a path of redemption.
He's not. He's just a blank. He's just a gray piece of paper, and she is just so annoying for so long that by the time at the end he's like, I think that I'm in love with Missy. I know it sounds crazy, but so then by the end of the movie, it's just completely unbelievable that he's all of a sudden just like in love with Missy, but she doesn't want anything to do with him at the end of the movie because she finds out that he didn't want to invite her.
Right.
Like she finds out.
Well, sure.
Spoiler, but who cares?
Yeah,
because I don't mind. I don't mind spoiling kind of trash movies.
Yeah, totally.
Now I will say there is a funny scene in it that I had to go back and watch again because it's so stupid. And it's that. So the model, beautiful, gorgeous Missy is I think she's like an Olympic diver or something and a pageant queen or something like that. Anyway, David Spade's character tells his boss, like, yeah, Missy's a Olympic diver. And so Missy's trying to play along with it because he's like, oh, yeah, I told everybody you're an Olympic diver. So then she drinks and she wants to show everyone by diving off a cliff, and she just tumbles off this cliff.
Just classic physical humor.
In the way she goes over. I'm going to make you watch it after we're done recording this, because it's just the way she goes over. That is just, I mean, and it's the only laugh in the whole movie. And it's not even that funny. And like looking back at it, it was just a funny physical, like the way she ends up falling off the cliff. Anyway, that movie is just hot garbage. And those were the 4 movies we watched that day.
That day, wow.
Have you ever watched 4 movies in a row with your wife?
Not with my wife. She's more of a...
Your wife like watches like 45 minutes of a movie and then it stops watching it. And then you have to stop watching a movie.
She's more of a TV gal, like a television show girl. I, like me, on one hand, I can, like, I'll come home from work and then I'll eat dinner and I'll watch a movie, right? I love movies.
Sure, me too.
Beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
Right? Take me on a journey.
Yeah.
She loves television shows. Really accessible to her. 45 minutes, hour, sleeping. 45 minutes, 45 more minutes, sleeping. So we are super into Lost right now. Watch like 3 seasons in a month.
She can only do 1 episode at a time, though?
Well, at the beginning, yeah, but now we're doing like 3 or 4 a night, and Lost starts off really good. I don't know if it's because you've had the similar situation, but now we're like halfway through season 3, and I'm just like,
starts to slow down.
Here's my number one thing about Lost. It's excellent storytelling, at least in the first 2 seasons, but then in the second to 3rd season, I found myself like, who do I like in this show?
None of them.
I don't think I like anybody.
I mean, that's why
their main man, Jack, is the worst. Yeah. Every episode, he's mad about something.
But they're trying to make Sawyer the bad guy, but he's not that.
Siler's the most... Did I say Siler?
Yeah, like, you've been watching Heroes too?
No, but I want to watch Heroes
Sawyer's now. Like supposed to be like this bad guy, but he's not that bad.
He's
really.
Not that
he's
bad.
Just kind of he's just a dude. He's just an old dude.
Okay, it's Sawyer, Saeed.
Hurley's likable.
Sun and Jin, the Korean couple.
Yes,
that's it. Cut out
likable characters.
That's it. Because
not Mary.
Charlie's only likable in like the first season,
takes
whenever
in the
he's
baby.
Yeah, but then he goes in this weird character arc in the 2nd season, and then the 3rd season he's just like a whiny little guy.
And then
dies. I haven't hit like his peak in the 3rd season because I know where his arc ends.
You've seen
really
all of
good.
Lost.
I've seen it all.
Okay. Has Sydney?
Yes, but it's been so long. So we're kind of experiencing some storylines like we forgot them.
Yeah.
So we're really into that right now, but I'm struggling through it because I'm like, I don't like anybody. Just give me a Hurley, Sun, and Jen show, and I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good.
Just give me a Hurley show.
But for real, man, Sun and Jen,
they're good. They've got good stories,
They like unlock my heart in a lot of episodes. I'm God, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, screw Jack, screw Kate, screw Sawyer. I don't care about any of them.
Right, and they're arguably the 3 main characters.
They are the staples. Like, Kate, through no fault of Evangeline Lilly, she's just poorly written. She just doesn't know what she wants, and she's a tortured soul because she blew up her dad.
She's boring.
Jack is just like, do what I say.
I'm an angry doctor,
and I'm so mad at you for doing something that makes a lot of sense to everybody else, but it's not what I said. And screw you, John Locke.
Right.
That's Jack in a nutshell. Sawyer's just like, I don't want you to like me. I'm just a sexy little tan boy.
Yeah.
That's Sawyer.
Well,
and Hurley's just,
chilling.
What's up, guys? And then Sun and Jen are like, they're
like planting things and like creating irrigation.
It's a dynamic relationship conversation about like what is a toxic relationship and how can you like what causes a toxic relationship and then how can you like grow out of that.
How can you correct it and heal and move forward
your marriage,
especially when you're stuck together?
Yeah, but like, what made it toxic in the first place? Was it noble? Like, why?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, why is this in this show?
Mm-hmm.
That's a show right there.
Yeah,
but it's in the middle of all this other. And needless to say, Lost is good. The first couple seasons is good. Watch it if you want. But Sun and Jin's storyline, every single episode that's centered around them, I'm just like, wow. I'm just like so into it.
Uh-huh.
Everybody else I hate, and I hope they die.
Right.
Which I know if they do or not, but
they're all dead.
They're all dead.
Yeah, see, Lost has been over way longer than How I Met Your Mother has.
That's true.
If you feel... Now, tell me this.
Sure.
Do you feel, knowing the ending, that it makes the series better or worse? Because I think it makes it better.
It makes it better to an extent. I think that the whole purgatory thing was an easy way out to take it, and the series itself took a lot of risks and a lot of like, what does this mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there's always a sense of it's purgatory. Like there are always characters who think this is purgatory. Like we're in it.
Honestly, Lost to me is just one long Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the Twilight Zone. Like by the end, you're like,
people are seeing things.
Yeah. There's a black cloud that's flying around, and like there's a town of other people, and and this man's son disappeared, and where did he go?
Yeah,
and, you know
that to me personally, that's the best of the show is the first couple seasons, just like pretty much every show that's ever been made.
Besides Breaking Bad.
There are a couple of gems that are like Breaking Bad and
Breaking Bad.
I love Breaking Bad so much. I only want to see Breaking Bad. It's a television Fox show. It's a cable show.
It's a CW show.
Right. It's a step above a CW show, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's good.
Yeah.
Because it's good. Like
it's not Arrow.
It's not Arrow. Right.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's never like this. But for a moment there, like this was before Breaking Bad. This was before streaming services, The Walking Dead. This was the Game of Thrones of the time. And I stand by it. Like it was just as popular as Game of Thrones because when it was done, it was done. People forgot about it.
It was a big deal.
It's over. Right. Like, oh my God, it's the last season of Lost. Oh my God, it's the last season of Game of Thrones. Oh, the season finale happened.
Crickets.
It's done. It's dead.
I think that, at the same time, I feel like Lost, the season finale or the series finale of Lost was one of the first pop culture things that like people hated that went viral, like early internet kind of, where it was like, that was one of the first things I remember, like chat, like message boards and like a viral sensation of everyone like communally hating the ending of Lost.
I watched it with my parents and it ended like fade to black on the series finale. And my mom turned off the TV immediately and she goes, I just wasted 7 years of my life. That's what she said.
How many seasons Lost is?
6 or 7. I don't remember. But regardless, she said that. Like, I just wasted 6. I just wasted 7 years of my life.
Mm-hmm. You know what's awesome is that J.J. Abrams made the title sequence on his laptop, on his MacBook, on an airplane.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Podzilla. It's a digital discourse in pop culture. If you want to email us and send us a prompt or something you want us to talk about, you can email us at thepodzillashow@gmail.com.
If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can follow us at The Podzilla Show. And if you want to follow us personally, you can follow us. I'm at Tonus Braden.
I'm at The David Smith Jr. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, David Blade out.
Freaking heck yeah!
dear, come on and hear. It's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before. So natural that you wanna go to war. That's just the bestest band what I am. Oh, my honey lamb, come on along, let me take you by the hand. Up to the man, who's the leader of the band. And if you care to hear the Swanee River play, in the night, come on and